Pace Morby. If you haven't heard of him, you will today. Phenomenal real estate investor. One of my favorite shows ever. I got 5 pages of notes. I'm not kidding. I took notes the whole time. I got 5 pages of little handwriting notes.
So if you're listening, folks, you can make some dough.
Can anybody get into this who's motivated?
1,000%.
Why aren't more people flocking into this?
This is the formula right here. It's called subject to. Bro, you're making me sick right now. Why would the bank let me do that?
But this guy seemed to come out of nowhere, and he's got an unbelievable following, tribe. He's got a top podcast. He's got the most popular TV show on A&E called Triple Digit Flip. But what's even more impressive is his heart to serve.
Pace Morby is the guy for all things real estate, and he does it all with something called creative financing.
It's going to be everything and anything you could ever want to know about creative financing.
When I watch Pace, you know what I see? I see a guy who got a whole universe of shoelets who told him, you can't do it that way. And he said, "It, watch me."
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Get Creative. Tonight, we're going to be breaking down a deal that I recently did, and I want to kind of break down it in a way that you guys can see start to finish. The challenge is when you're brand new, you don't know where to start, but also you don't know where it goes. You don't know where it's going to end up, right? I see a lot of people just chasing wholesale deals, or they get stuck doing fixing and flipping. And I really look at my life and I get to see the power that creative finance really does bring to the table. The power that I have as an individual investor, that I can help people not only sell their properties with creative finance, but I can help families get into properties as well with creative finance. And so today we're going to be talking about that exact thing. Now, I just started a program called Pace Gives, and you guys can go there on pacegives.com. And what I'm doing on this program is I'm helping people get into housing. Pay attention to this because this is epic. Check this out. So right now we are working, this is me, obviously, as an investor, Pace the investor. And I do all sorts of things. We do wholesaling, we do fix and flip. But the main thing that we do, probably 85 to 90% of the time, is we do buy and hold. Okay, we do a lot of buy and hold. I put most everything I do in my portfolio. But when I first started, I started in wholesale. Then I advanced into fixing and flipping. And then I added buying and holding as a strategy later in the game. And what was great about this is that it now, oh yeah, guys, what's up? What's up, everybody? Pansy, what's up? Jaden, Aaron, Maggie, what's up, everybody? Good to see everybody. We're going to have a lot of fun today breaking down this deal. So now what's cool is I'm advanced, and it's not so much that the things I do today are hard or challenging. It's that I didn't even know they existed. It took me a while to open up all the doors in real estate to realize what was all in here. There's so many cool things to do in real estate. I mean, so many freaking cool things to do in real estate. And I think people don't realize how powerful you can become in real estate. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about an address of a deal I bought and what I'm doing with that deal and how I can help so many people in the process. So check this out. The number one problem in real estate, by the way, problems are where we make money. Okay. Problems are where we make money. If somebody has a problem and I can solve that problem, I make money. That's how the world works. So the biggest problem in real estate right now, I'd actually say there's about 4 really significant problems in real estate. Number one biggest problem in real estate right now is that buyers cannot afford homes. Okay. Interest rates are super high and purchase prices are super high. So purchase and rate are killing people. Second biggest problem in real estate, that's the buyer, right? The buyer is the biggest problem. The second biggest problem in real estate is that agents are having a hard time selling houses. Okay. Days on market, we call it DOM, or days on market. That's the amount of house days that house has been on the market. Okay. Days on market has gone dramatically up, meaning that there's more inventory. And when there's a lot of inventory, that means agents are having a hard time selling houses. Right now, on average, about 15,000 real estate agents get fired every single day. Now, I don't want to point out that I don't like agents. I love agents. I work with them all the time. This is not that. What I'm saying is that there are agents out there that for 6 months, they took a seller and they said, hey, seller, I can sell your house for you. And after 6 months not being able to sell that house, they get fired, right? The seller says, look, I've given you half a year to sell my house. You haven't sold my house. I'm going a different direction. Okay. And so that happens every day, 15,000 times. 50,000 times agents are losing their listings and losing their ability to make income. Okay. That's the second biggest problem in real estate right now. Third biggest problem in real estate, as you could probably guess, is the seller that can't get the house sold. They're stuck in their house and they want to move. Okay. When people tell you that we have a lack of inventory, you hear this on YouTube all the time. These people are uneducated. If we had a lack of inventory, then why are real estate agents getting fired? 15,000 of them every single day. That's inventory that couldn't sell. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. If we have an inventory problem, then why in the heck, okay, why in the heck are these many agents not able to sell 15,000 houses per day? That was after 6 months of trying, by the way. That wasn't them just getting fired on day one. They had 6 months of trying, 6 months of effort to try and sell these houses, and they couldn't. So here's a seller. Okay, here's a seller. I'll actually give you guys the address, and we'll kind of give you guys a little bit of proof. This is always fun to do for me. And the reason for that is because, you just want to know you're talking about real addresses and real deals. Let me pull up Heather, the agent that I worked with on this deal. We're currently under contract right now. I doubt that the deal is going to get canceled or fall apart. It looks like we're going to close here in the next couple of days. I want to tell you exactly what I'm doing with it and how you can do these types of things as well. And there's a couple of reasons why I would listen to me tonight. Number one, if you're somebody out there saying, I wish I could afford a home, interest rates are high, the banks don't like me, I get paid under the table. I've had strippers reach out to me and say, Pace, I'm a stripper. Can you help me find a house? Yes, I can. Pace, I'm a plumber. I get paid under the table. I take a lot of cash payments and give people, there's a lot of contractors like plumbers that will give their customers a discount if that customer gives them cash instead of a check. Then that way they don't have to report it to the IRS. The IRS doesn't know, therefore they save like 40% on their taxes. So they'll give their client a 10, 15% discount by paying cash. Well, if they take cash, guess what? The bank that they're going to go get approved for a loan for is not going to give them approval based on receiving cash. They look at tax returns. So if you're one of those people that's like, I don't have tax returns that show a lot of money, I don't have a W-2, I'm a 1099 person, I'm a salesperson, heck, even if you're a real estate agent, whatever it may be, you might want to listen tonight because I can help you find a house. And not only can I help you find a house, but I can also help you finance that house. And I'm going to walk through that today. Okay. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Now, Heather is a real estate agent who I have been working with on this particular deal for, I'd say, let's see, she sent me the email literally 31 days ago. So this has been 30 days in the making. It has been under contract for a little over 10 days. The address to this property is 17742 West Via Hermosa. 17742 West Via Hermosa. Now, I want to dispel a couple of things today. Now, this is in Surprise, Arizona. And I'll pull this up on Zillow so you guys can see the address and see the photos. 85387. Okay, cool. So this is the actual house. This is the address. We're going to pull it up on the computer and break it down for everybody. This house was being sold by sellers because the seller bought this home, originally planned on it being their forever home. And about 3 months ago, their daughter got a full ride scholarship to North Dakota to play golf at a college. The sellers who are sitting there, they just bought the house. The sellers go, man, we just bought this home. We bought it with an FHA mortgage, so we don't have a lot of equity. And now we got to turn around and sell this thing because we want to go live by our daughter. That was their motivation. So a lot of people ask the question, why would somebody just let you buy their house subject to? Why would somebody just let you take the keys to their house, leave the mortgage in their name, and let you buy their house subject to? I just told you. Every seller has a little bit different motivation, but the main motivation for the seller was that they wanted to be near their daughter and they wanted to move to North Dakota. So they went and they hired a real estate agent named Heather. And Heather has been working on trying to sell this house for a couple of months. She's not getting a lot of offers. In fact, the offer she's getting would require her sellers to come out of pocket to sell the house. Okay. So that is the motivation. The motivation has been clearly, okay, this is interesting. 17742 West Via Hermosa. Okay, great. So she took it off the market, which is great. So you guys can pull it up on Zillow and it will not even give you photos. Maybe I'll pull up the photos for you guys, give you guys a Google link. Oh, there we go. There's the house. Okay, cool. So this house is awesome, by the way, and brand new. So I want to show you another myth I want to dispel is that houses that you buy subject to are ugly and old and gross. I would say this house is anything but that. Look at this cute house, brand new, good landscaping, new tile. This is not new tile. All the house is brand new. Wide open floor plan, 4-bed, 3-bath house with a really cute backyard. I'll give you guys a view of the backyard. They spent money on it. They put money and invested money into this house, and they could not sell the house. There you go. Look at this. In Arizona. What's interesting is that nobody finishes off their backyards. And so you buy brand new homes with just dirt lots. It's a very Arizona thing. Okay. So you can see the house. Oh my gosh, it's 2,200 square feet. That's crazy. 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,200 square foot house. Could not sell it on the market. Okay. Could not sell it on the market. So when people say to you, hey, we have an inventory issue, guys, that house was inventory. Nobody bought it. Why? Seller didn't have equity. Seller was going to have to come out of pocket to sell that house. And so I come along, I talk to the agent. Her name is Heather. How did I find this deal? I found this deal by reaching out through LOI Blaster. So I use a software called LOI Blaster. You can go get it at loiblaster.com. And it basically this is what it does. It sends out offers to real estate agents that are having a hard time selling their houses and saying, hey, my name is Pace, and I'd love to just take over your seller's payment and get you paid your commission. Okay. So Heather, the agent, reaches out to me. She says, hey, I got your offer. I'd love to have a conversation. Do you want to come and see the house? Cool. So we have the back history. We have the pain. We understand why the agent was willing to do it. I told you how I reached out to the agent. Okay. If you guys are all on the same page, say yes in the side comments over here on YouTube land. Let me know you're on the same page with me. So I meet Heather, the agent, and I understand the situation. Okay. They tell me, hey, seller's already moved out. The house is vacant. They're now making 2 payments. Okay. So pretty simple. Here's the seller. Here's their beautiful home. And here's Heather, the agent. They're in pain. And I come along because I have information. I know something. I know things that I teach on this podcast and I teach in my SubTo mentorship. I know things. I have information. This is how you make money. You find people with problems. These people have problems, and I then bring my information and I solve that problem. Okay. So the seller says, what do you want? And I said, I want to buy your property subject to, which means I take over the existing mortgage payments, and the seller has a 4% rate. Okay. That's half what most people can get a loan for right now. Okay. It's half of what somebody can get a loan for right now. So what ends up happening is I say, I want to buy this property. Here's the biggest problem with this property. Here's my problem. My problem is that the property will not cash flow. Okay. Which means there's a $2,700 payment that I have to make, and I can rent the property for about $2,500. So I would lose money renting that property out at $2,500 a month. And so I'm like, okay, I can't rent it. Maybe I can do a pad split. Maybe I can do an Airbnb. Maybe I can do a midterm rental. Maybe I can do some other thing to make money. Problem is, here's the big problem. The big problem is that it's in an HOA. So I can't do Airbnb. I can't do pad split. I can't do midterm rental. The only thing I can do is I can buy the deal and I can find an end buyer who doesn't care about cash flow. What is an end buyer that doesn't care about cash flow? That's somebody that's going to live in the property and, raise their children, build their family, make memories, do all of those things. And so what I decided to do was I'm going to go help an end buyer get into this house. I'm going to give the end buyer this 4% rate. Okay. Interested how they had 4%, but no equity, not much appreciation over 2 years. Yeah, that is correct, Matt Browning. I'm assuming it's been 2 years for 4%. Yes. And the other thing you have to remember is that just because a property appreciates, let's say 10%, okay, which is actually, let's say it appreciates 5%. Matt, this is so good, Matt. Such a great question. Matt's wondering about equity. So let's talk about equity, Matt. What is actual equity? Equity is what I have in my pocket after my house sells. Okay. Not if somebody says, hey, my house is worth $400,000 and I owe $360,000 to the bank. How much equity do they have? Most people would say that's $40,000 in equity. I would say you have zero equity because you're going to have to pay an agent and another agent and an escrow officer and all the things that it takes to sell a house. It takes about 10% of the sales price to sell a house. So when you buy the house today and it appreciates 3% this year and 4% the next year, it's only appreciated 7%, but it's going to cost you 10% to sell the house. Remember that, guys. So there are so many people, literally 700,000 people are in this current situation right now. 700,000 people are in this exact situation. As I could live my entire life focusing on this one list and still not have enough time to buy all the deals. It is insane how many opportunities there are. So no, they don't have equity. Even if they waited 3, maybe even 4 years, they wouldn't have any actual equity at the end of the day. Okay. So I decided I'm going to find an end buyer because an end buyer is not really going to care about the cash flow on this deal. And you know what I did? I then decided I'm going to go across the country and I'm going to put a new program together where I'm going to find all the non-cash flowing HOA SubTo deals in the nation with my students. So as it happens now, I have 15,000 SubTo community members. And last year we did $10 billion in transactions. $10 billion in transactions. Okay. So with those 15,000 students, I'd say about 80% of those deals do cash flow and 20% of them do not cash flow. And so my students go, hey, I'm either going to just let this deal go or I need to find an end buyer. And so what I decided to do is I decided to put together a program called Pace Gives. And you guys can go there right now if you wanted to, and you can put your name on the list. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a map of the United States showing people exactly where I have buyers all over the country. And me and my 15,000 students in SubTo are going to go find those deals for those families, help them avoid banks, help them avoid credit checks, help them avoid tax returns and all of these other things. And I am going to find houses that fit those families. So far, in the last 30 days of launching this, we've already helped 15 families and we're just getting started. So with this house, okay, this one on Villa Hermosa, I found a buyer. His name is Matt. Okay, Matt is saying, hey man, I'm renting right now and I just got engaged. I've got a fiance and I would really love to get into a house, but no bank's going to finance me and I can't afford a house at 7.5% interest. Okay. So what ended up happening is he came on my list on pacegives.com. I reached out to Matt and I said, hey Matt, I've got a house on Villa Hermosa that you might want to get into. And he says, okay, but how much is it going to cost to get into the house? And I said, well, for me, I'm paying the seller $18,000 to walk away. He already says, that's too much money. I can't pay that $18,000. That's too much. I go, just listen to me. You asked a question. Let me at least answer the question. So the seller's getting $18,000. The agent is getting $9,000. Okay. Then I'm hiring a TC to do the deal, transaction coordinator. She's going to get $1,500. Then I've got closing costs at a title company. By the way, we use a title company called Creative Title and Escrow. You guys can go to getcreativetitle.com. Okay, getcreativetitle.com is who I use for my title company. They're going to charge probably about $5,000 to close the deal. And then I've got 1 month of payments that I've got to pay for the first month, $2,700. So I say, all in all, my total cost, to get into the deal is, let's just call it a cool, let's just round it up to $35,000. And I said, but Matt, I know you don't have that money. Matt says, I don't have that money to get into the house, but I've got the ability to pay the payment. And I said, Matt, no problem. I will cover that $35,000 and I will give you the down payment for this house. And I will structure a deal that you can move in next week and get into this house, the house of your dreams. And I will even show you how to house hack this house while you're waiting to get married and while you and your fiance are getting ready to move in with each other in about a year and a half from now. Okay. So see, Gloria, she says, hey, everybody, I have a client looking for a seller financing in North Carolina. No problem. Have your client go to pacegives.com, go on the list. And I promise you, we're going to be sending out a couple of emails coming up this week to give everybody updates on the amount of houses that we have. I literally have 600 houses to go through right now, 600 houses right now to go through for pacegives.com. And so what's fun is I get to buy with no bank. I then get to sell and become the bank. Creative finance is the ultimate hack. It's the absolute most ultimate hack. I don't even know why anybody does cash deals. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it's a personality thing for me, but I look at all these cash deals that people are trying to get, and they're lowballing sellers and they're lowballing agents. And I'm over here just going, I'll pay you whatever you want. But the way I'm structuring the deal and the way that I'm raising the capital. Now, where's my $35,000 coming from? My $35,000 is coming from a Gator. I brought a Gator to the table, and this Gator is covering the cost of that $35,000. And Matt is covering the $2,700 payment plus a payment to the Gator of $350 a month. Okay. I am literally in this deal, no money out of pocket. Matt, I'm financing him and I'm raising the capital for him for his down payment. So if you're a real estate agent out there saying, man, I wish my client could get a deal like this, have your client go to pacegives.com, fill out the information, and me and my community will be looking for those deals. Okay. And by the way, if you guys are looking to sell a non-cash flowing deal, please email deals@pacemorby.com. This one's a good one. Tucker says, is there any risk taking over subject to property, but having to pay off the seller's HELOC first? We just take over their HELOC subject to. Okay. Awesome. Limitless Family says, I'm looking to get a house with no money. Okay. Go to pacegives.com. Are your sellers going to vet the buyers taking over the mortgage? No, Matt, I actually bought the property. I own the property. I close on it. And then I turn around and I vet the end buyers. Okay. Yes. Jason Bowman says, is that interest only to the Gator? That is correct. Pace, I believe I was one of the first people on that list. Do I have to go back on the site to fill out the info again in case my info got bumped down to the bottom? Tori, you're not bumped down to the bottom. You are going to end up being on a nationwide map. Let me show you what this nationwide map is going to look like. This is a little bit different. Please do not go to this website and say, Pace, I don't see it. This is an example. Okay. So getcreativepodcast.com. If you guys go to getcreativepodcast.com, the girl that built this website, okay, this is a website that shows all my podcasts with my students in the last couple of months. What kind of student they are, what kind of deal they did. You can scroll in and go, oh my gosh, there's Amber Fleming. She's a Gator. She did a deal. Here, listen to it on Apple Podcasts. So you can see where my students are and where they're located. We just started doing this. So probably within a year, you'll end up having a massive, like you won't even be able to see the city names, right? So we're going to have a very similar map to this. And that map is going to be on pacegives.com. So you can see all the buyers I have, and you can go check on your name. And if you want, you can even go edit your name. Okay. You can even go edit your name. Pace, we are desperately looking for a place in New York. Although approved for an FHA loan, agent and sellers seemed to only want to do business with cash buyers or conventional loans. Waiting on you, brother. Don't wait on me. Please do not wait on me, because you're not just waiting on me, you're waiting on my students. I can't find everybody a house. That's why I have my students working on this as well. Okay. Do not wait on me. Spencer Hunter says, what was that site again? Getcreativepodcast.com. Getcreativepodcast.com. Anthony Johnson says, no one is as generous as you, brother. So awesome. You know what? There are a lot of generous people like me. They're all in the SubTo community, pretty amazing community. Okay. When will Gator be paid off the $35,000? This Gator actually does not want to be paid off. I'm doing a 5-year loan with them, and they'll probably even extend. They just want money every single month, right? Some Gators want fast returns. Other Gators just want passive returns that they don't have to think about it. Okay. Cool. Great freaking question there. So anyway, next week, after I close on this, I'm going to be bringing in the real estate agent, Heather, to come in and talk about the deal and how creative finance actually solved her problem. And then I'm going to let her know how much money I'm making. Okay. There you go. Will the monthly payment be something that's able to be adjusted for our budget? No. The house is going to be the house, is going to be the house, is going to be the house. If the house's budget doesn't fit you, then we got to find you a different house. We're not going to change the budget of the house because I'm taking over existing payments, right? I'm not going to go back to the bank and renegotiate the payments. I just need to find the right house for the right buyer, if that makes sense. Okay. Very cool. Will the monthly? Yeah. Awesome. Very good questions, guys. So anyway, I'm here in Montana. My son, who I haven't seen in a month, just arrived. Here it is, 8:30 at night. I'm going to go hang out with my son next week on Get Creative Podcast. Stay tuned, because I'll have Heather, the real estate agent, coming in, hanging out with us and answering questions live. It'll be great. The other thing I want you guys to know is that tomorrow we are going to be doing day 2 of the challenge. So come on to the YouTube channel. I will be calling agents live and negotiating SubTo deals live. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on that challenge. That'll be 8 o'clock Arizona time. And that's 11 o'clock Eastern. I will see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday, tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow for the couple hundred people that are in here watching this live. I will see you guys tomorrow for Calling Agents Live. And I will see you next week on the Get Creative Podcast with an agent I just did a SubTo deal with. See you guys later.